Happy Sunday, everybody. I'm excited to be back with you today. I took yesterday off, Saturday, and I spent the day with my daughters. We watched a bunch of movies. We watched a lot of CoComelon. We rode around for a little while. I can't really play outside too much right now with my foot being broken, but we rode around. We had a good day. It was a good day. I didn't do any work. I didn't do anything on my computer. I did make one post just, asking if these videos help anyone in our Facebook group stop saving, start investing. And I got a question that was really relevant to what we're doing, and I kind of want to expand on it. And the question is how do you pick an ETF? How do you know which one you want to pick? And that's a great question. So I'm going to expand on that a little bit. If you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and hit the little subscribe button right there. I would appreciate that, and set your notifications, hit the little bell. That way, every time I post a video, it comes straight to you. You get updated. So what I've gathered is people have, they've started with an app. They've got a platform that they're trading on, whether it be Webull, Robinhood, whatever it may be. And they've gotten that far, and now they're like, all right, I know what an ETF is. I watched your last videos. I get what an ETF is, but how do I pick which one? There's like 1,000. So I'm going to go through how I choose which ones I prefer over others. And if you'll watch this until the very end, halfway through the video, I'm going to screen share with you and show you on Robinhood's app different ETFs, show you different charts, show you what I look at exactly. And then if you'll hang on until the end, watch all the way to the end, I will share with you exactly the ETFs that I put my money in. So hang out until the end, and we'll get rolling. So when you're looking at ETFs, there are a couple of factors that you want to look at. Some are safer than others. Some of those ETF baskets hold more stocks than others. Some don't hold as many stocks, so they're a little more dangerous. What I advise people to do is I advise you to research. Get on Google, look up different ETFs, look at how they've done over the last 5 years. Look at what sector each ETF is tracking. So, if there's a sector that you're really into, all right, say you're really into metals, and that's just your thing. You think the metal industry is going to do great in the next 10, 15, 20 years. Well, great. Look for an ETF that tracks metal stocks. You think that clean energy is going to be a big deal in the next several years. Awesome. Find an ETF that tracks clean energy. That's the biggest thing. You need to find an ETF that tracks what you are interested in. And if you're serious about making money, it doesn't even have to be something you're interested in. It needs to be something that you feel is going to grow over the next couple of years. So I have my computer pulled up right here, and I've got a few ETFs that I'm going to end up running through with you. Just kind of give you an example of different ETFs and different things that they track. So once you figure out what sector you're interested in and what sector you think is going to create the most growth over the next several years, what you want to do is look at those ETFs on whichever app you're using, and look and see how they've done over the last year. Look and see how they've done over the last 5 years. Google up and see how they've done over their entire lifespan from when they were started till now. It's important that they have consistent growth. You don't want to jump in an ETF that the only time that they've grown was 3 years ago. They grew 700% in 1 year, which it would be crazy. You don't want to just look at that. That doesn't do you any good now. So you really want to look and see how they're doing consistently over time if you're serious about making money consistently over time. That's kind of obvious. So that's something that you really want to look at. Something that I want to kind of put a plug in here for that's very important. The stock market is pulling back. It is going down right now. Every day for the last 6 or 7 days, it may have had a day in there where it gained a little bit, but for the majority, it is coming down. Do not see that as a negative when you're investing long term. People get so freaked out. Do not get nervous because it's pulling back. We as investors want it to pull back. We want it to come down so we can buy in at a lower price. okay? If we're adding our small increments in there every week or every 2 weeks or every month or whatever we're doing, the more it comes down before you add in your next increment, the better price you buy it at, the more room you have for growth. So please do not see it as, oh no, I can't get in the stock market right now, it's going down. Man, it going down is the best blessing you can get when investing in the stock market. You do not want to buy when it's at its highest point. There's not as much room for growth. There's always a chance that it will go down. If you look at any ETF right now, 90% of them have come down over the last week. That's a good thing for us. You need to understand that. You need to understand if I wanted to buy a vehicle and someone offered it for me at $50,000 and a week later it was at $40,000, I'm getting a great deal a week later. Just hang on, just wait a second and invest when it's at its lowest. And the way that we do is we keep putting our money in incrementally, so we're catching all of those low points and we're gonna end up making a lot of money. Now, I am going to screen share with you guys what I've got going on, what ETFs I've been kind of looking at this morning, different sectors, and these are not necessarily the ones that I recommend or ones that I have my money in. It's just different examples, so you know how to look through the Robinhood app. I'm going to use Robinhood. I know a lot of people right now are skeptical of Robinhood. That's what I'm going to use. That's what I make my money on. It's my smallest account, and it's the least amount of effort to try to teach you how to look through it. It's very simple, very easy. So I'm going to show you that and screen share that with you guys, go over a few ETFs, and then I'm going to come back at the very end, so hang on, and I'm going to go over exactly the ETFs that I personally hold. That's not telling you to hold them, that's just telling you what I do. All right, so hang in there, I'll be right back. All right, good people, so I am scrolling through on my Robinhood account, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my ETFs. Let me close this out. All right, I'm going to go to my ETFs watch list. And so what I have on here basically is just some example ETFs. Some of them I actually invest in, some of them I do not. But I just want to give you an example of looking at a chart, kind of how to tell which ETF to buy. That's the main thing that we're working on here. So let's start with ARKK. So if you look at ARKK over one day, you would say, man, why are you investing in this? Well, we don't buy and sell in one day time periods. So let's scroll over here to 1 year, and you see up at the top left, it's up 159% in the last year. So that means if you would have bought in at the beginning of the year and sold right now, you would be up 159%. And when I say when you buy in a year ago today. This is a year's chart. So let's go over here to the 5-year chart. So you look at the 5-year chart, and it is up a remarkable 689%. That is incredible. That is something that a lot of ETFs do not do. This is more of an aggressive ETF, and it's more of it's about innovation. So those stocks rise and fall a lot quicker because they're innovation stocks. They're geared towards, expanding the market, growing as fast as possible, becoming the best. I think Tesla is obviously a huge electric vehicle company, and it's a big part of ARKK. So as you can see, I would invest, and this is why I do invest in ARKK Innovation ETF, because it has great returns. Now, if I look at it for a week, it's down 8%. And if you look at a weekly chart, you would say, man, I don't want to buy into this. It's losing money. Well, it's not. Look at it for a year, guys. If you look at all of these little dips where it went down, where it went down, where it went down constantly throughout the year, I look right here, it went down. I look right here, it's down. I look down here, it's down. I look up here, it's going down. Those are the best places that you could have bought throughout the year to buy at the lowest price. And that's important. That is what is important. If you're doing long-term investing like I am, don't look at these little charts that are 1 day, 1 week. Look out here at a year. That's what's important. Look at a year. Look at a year. Look at 5 years. Go on Google, because Robinhood won't let you see more than 5 years. Go on Google and look these ETFs up and look what they've done over their entire lifespan. So that's just one ETF. Now let's look let's look at a different one. I already told you guys about ARKQ, which is technology and robotics. Here, I'll show you a 1 year chart. It's up 122%. A 5 year chart, it's up 435%. That is incredible. Those are great returns on your money over, 5 years is not even that long of a term to invest your money, to be honest. I know people look at a day trade and they look at what they want to do in a day, and they want to swing trade in a week and that sort of thing. And it's shiny and it's new and it's, man, I can make a whole lot of money in 1 day. Well, yeah, you can. That's true. You can. But you can also lose a whole lot of money in 1 day because there's a lot of uncertainty. But when you're long-term investing, if you buy these dips, if you buy, if when you put your money in incrementally and you try your best to find these dips when it comes along, that's where your money is. That's where you make the most gains. So pay close attention to that. Like I said, a lot of you, the best thing to do is just say, I'm going to buy every Monday as soon as the market opens. Boom, I bought. I don't have to look at it anymore. I don't have to worry about it. I don't need to look to see where the dips are. I don't want to fool with all that. I want to invest 1 time a week and keep it simple. Well, you can do that. There's nothing wrong with that too. That's a great way to do things, and you'll end up catching some of these dips as well. So, ARKG, Genomic Revolution. So it's up 463% in 5 years. It's up 202% this year. And like I said, it had a great year this year because of COVID. So, those are the 3 ETFs that I personally invest my money in, because I just believe that in the future, those are going to be big time sectors. Those are going to grow. I can't imagine those not growing. So let's look at a few more. So let's say that you're really into like clean energy. You think that clean energy is the way to go. That's the future in America. That's what people are moving towards. So clean energy, like windmills and getting away from fossil fuels and that sort of thing. Whether you agree with that decision or not, do you think it's actually going to happen? And if you do, then you look at something like iShares Global Clean Energy ETF. You look at it for the last year, it's up 140%. 46%. That's nothing to shake your head at. That's good money. That's good returns. Look at 5 years, and you can see it's up 261%. You have to figure out which sector really motivates you, or what you think is really going to grow. It doesn't do you any good to invest in something that you say, well, I'm really passionate about, something that's not going to make any money. That's really pointless, and you can do that. And if you're passionate about it and that's just what you want to do, that's fine. But you want to find a sector that you believe in your heart is bound to grow over the next several years. That's what you're looking for. So let's look at this one right here, DRIV. It focuses on electric vehicles. It is very hard to argue the point that electric vehicles are the future. GM is talking about doing electric vehicles. Tesla's already, they're based in electric vehicles. NIO is based on electric vehicles. I think Ford is coming out with electric vehicles. The USPS is coming out with new, delivery vans that are all run electrically. Now, whether you like that idea or not is irrelevant. Is it going to make money? Is it going to grow? So let's look at this one over the last year. It's up 74%. That's not as great as the ones I've shown you before, but 74%, what I'm trying to get you guys to understand is 71% over the past 5 years, 74% over the last year. How long would your money have to sit in a savings account to grow that amount? At 0.05% a year. That is the point. That is why we are investing. That is why we are going to stop saving and start investing. That's where, that's the whole point of this page, is to get you to see that this is where your money can work for you. So that is basically what I wanted to show you guys on the Robinhood app. If you don't want to use Robinhood, it's the same numbers if you go to any other app that you decide to use. The point is you need to find an ETF that you think will grow, one that you're interested in, one that you feel will grow. And you need to invest incrementally. You need to go in, once a week, or every day of the week, or once a month, or whatever you decide to do, whatever your money can allow you to do. But the goal is when you see the dip, when you see this market going down right now, don't freak out. That's basically the market saying, hey guys, I'm going to give you a discounted price on an awesome ETF. Well, why would you pass that chance up and get out of the stock market? When people panic and they start getting out of the market, that's when I buy up as many shares as I possibly can. All right, guys, so we're going to go back over. I'm going to get out of screen share, and we're going to go over exactly what it is that I invest in and why I invest in them. Thanks. All right, good people. So now that I've shown you different examples of ETFs, different examples of what they represent, what sectors they are focused on, go do your own due diligence. Go look at your own, Google up different ETFs, different sectors, which ones are doing well, which ones haven't done very well over time. I like actively managed ETFs. So I'm going to go over real quick, and I've got my computer pulled up. So when I look away from the screen, I am looking at my computer to kind of talk to you a little bit about what I have. When I do that, you can look at this awesome, cool hat that my wife bought me yesterday. So the ETFs that I personally hold, and the way that I hold them is I invested, a good bit of money up front in these 3 ETFs. And then what I do is each week I watch the market every single day. And when the market has a bad day, so like the other day, the market went down like 2%, 400 points. So I look at my ETFs, and sure enough, they also went down about 2%. Well, a 2% drop for my ETFs is a pretty good drop. So what I do is I say, okay, that is a low point for this week from what I've seen for the past few days, and for what I've seen for, the past few months. So, a 2% drop is a pretty good drop. So what I do then is I say, okay, I'm going to invest my money then. I want the lowest price possible. I invest my money then. The next week I do the same thing. I wait until the day where I think it's probably going to be the lowest. Some weeks there aren't any low points. They just goes up and up and up. And I just invest my money where, I think is going to be the best time, the best buy for that week. So 3 ETFs that I personally love, that I invest in, that I think are going to explode in the next couple of years. They are all managed by the same company, ARK. They're managed by a lady named Kathy Woods. She does a fantastic job of managing the ETFs. And I think she's done a great job. She's done an awesome job over the last year and over the last 5 years of growing these ETFs. Crazy numbers. She may be able to keep it rolling. I think that she will, because these focus on sectors that are growing constantly, and I think that they're going to grow under the new administration that we have in the White House right now. So first of all, I have a good bit of money in ARKK. I use that as an example all the time because it's one I'm familiar with. ARKK is all about innovation. They want companies that are innovating the way people do things. So some big holdings they have is like they invest in Tesla, they invest in Roku, they invest in Square, Spotify, Shopify. They are big on people who are leading the way in their particular sector. So innovation's a big deal for me. I think that's going to be huge in the future. Another one that has exploded this year because of COVID, and I believe is going to continue to explode because honestly, people are always getting sick. People are always looking for ways to get better. And ARKG is a genomic company. They focus on genomes. They focus on ways to increase human health, ways to help humans have a better life and live longer. They may not be, pharmaceutical companies. It may be something like Apple, who's coming up with new technology to incorporate medicine to people, stuff like that. And I think that's going to be huge, especially with all of us sitting around the house the last year worried about COVID. I think it's just going to snowball into people are going to be worried about different things all the time. So personally, I think that's what's going on. So things that they invest in are like CRISPR Therapeutics, Twist Bioscience, and Exact Science Corporation. They're really big on finding cures for things and using technology to expand those cures and expand the way that we live our lives. I think that is pretty important. I think that that's a huge deal, and I think that that is something that will continue to grow. And the better science we get through time, the more this is going to be important. The more ARKG is going to grow, because the more we're going to have access to longer lives, happier lives, healthier lives, and I think that's a big one. The last one that I put a lot of my money in is ARKQ. So ARKQ is all about technology and robotics. Technology, duh. I mean, I'm talking to my cell phone right now and I'm reaching a lot of people. And robotics, I think, is going to be huge. So like 3D printers, stuff like that. I think that a lot of big companies are going to find ways, unfortunately, to cut employees and find ways for robotics to take those positions. I know a lot of big manufacturers are already doing that, and they've already done that. I know like McDonald's has a big screen you place your order on and you never even have to talk to a person. That's unfortunate in my opinion. I don't think that's the right way to go, but I do think that that's the future. I do think that companies are going to take advantage of robotics in order to grow their business without the cost of employees. So those are the three biggest ETFs that I invest in. I used to invest in the S&P 500. But I kind of got out of that. It wasn't specific enough for me. It was kind of broad. It is safer, but it is broad. But the ARK group has different ETFs that they manage. And I think that they've done a fantastic job of managing those. And I think they're going to just keep growing. I may be wrong. They may drop tomorrow and they may continue to drop from now until, I'm 40 years old. I have no idea. But I do know that these are big sectors. I do know that this is important stuff that's coming up in the world and it's growing. So that's where I put my money. So I like sharing this with you guys. If you have comments, please leave comments below. I love to hear from you guys. It helps me to create the next video. It helps me to expand. It helps me to grow this page and grow, our relationship and grow what you know. So like I said before, hit the subscribe button. Please hit it. Hit the notification bell. Please hit it. Helps me out a lot. I hope that you guys learned a lot from this. I hope that you have an awesome Sunday. I'll be back with you tomorrow. I'm going to keep these videos rolling as long as you comment, as long as we've got some content to talk about. Hey, let's keep growing. Let's keep making money. Thanks, guys.